I couldn't help myself, Outlaws. I had to put that little meme in front. If you don't know what's up, just listen to the end of the video. Tyrant's little comments. I figured I'd send him a little troll meme. Anyways, welcome. This is going to be my official response. Maybe not official. Maybe initial. I like the word initial. This is a response to Shadiversity's recent testing a real Berserk Dragonslayer sword. Can you fight with it? So overall, I thought it was a cool video. I like that we're now transitioning from just no giant swords to actually now everyone's slowly moving to accepting giant swords. You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome. But anyway, like seriously, like so if you don't know who I am, this is Twisted Outlaws. Been started training giant swords 2017 when I ordered my Dragonslayer. You can see it back here. Had it made, and I told the maker I want to chop a card in half with it. So he made it with that in mind. Took a while to get training going, kind of went off and on for a while, but then started seriously training with it throughout 3 years ago. So I've learned lots of things. And in this video, I kind of see where Shad and Tyrant are at with their level training or their level understanding. Now, I don't expect everyone to commit themselves the way I have to learning to swing this 48-pound steel behemoth. Like, I just don't. A lot of the reason why people say that giant swords are impractical or they don't work is because they're just simply too heavy for them. It's kind of like a person at a gym who's just overwhelmed or just like, or just not motivated or whatever, pick a reason, right? And they pick something up or they try to do something, it's too heavy, they're like, I don't like this, I don't like it. But within this one here, there are some things I thoroughly disagree with. There's also things I'm like, hey, you know what? They're on the right track. Or, hey, you guys actually you're onto something. You're right. I'm going to provide the best examples I can through video. I don't really have the ability to go out right now and do it in person like I normally would, but I'll do that later. So this will be my initial response. Still got to give one to Tyrant in his last video, though. I kind of fell behind on some of the projects I was getting distracted on. So anyways, let's get started with one of the things I find less appealing. Again, this is not a Shad hating channel. This is not a Tyrant hating channel. So if you're one of those people, you guys pop up every once in a while, just piss off. This ain't the hater-aid city, man. Let's do this.
Dragonslayer swords, they kind of reach like accurate one-to-one things, but they are made out of steel, and the guys trying to swing in can barely lift those things.
And it's not a dig at them. I did this to be easy, essentially. I think, from what I've seen, a little bit of a profile taper on this, it'll still be strong enough.
So I have seen a number of people make kind of Dragonslayer-ish kind of swords. They're all very thin. None of them are accurate one-to-one things, but they are made out of steel, and the guys trying to swing in can barely lift those things.
And it's not a dig at them. I want to make sure it's not trying to be.
I kind of like the ones that are like 50 days training with this sword, see how tough I can get.
I genuinely respect it. It's just it's not practical.
All right, so you heard it. Okay, so one of the most silliest things I ever hear about is it's very thin. It's not. I've actually measured it. It's about I think it's like 7 millimeters thick. It's pretty thick. Is it like anime thick? No, but that's not really what giant swordsmen are telling you. People that train with giant swords, we're not saying you should go pick the actual anime sword, the 500, 300, 400, whatever pound you want to believe it is, Dragonslayer, because honestly, the Dragonslayer warps quite a bit when you actually read Berserk. That's not what we're saying. But we are saying that giant swords, as we have created them now, like this Dragonslayer, Hale's Dragonslayer, you call Ashman one of Dragonslayer, is made of wood, so it's not a real sword, but still, you bonk someone in the head with that thing, they're probably going to crack their skull. But what irritates me is that Shad goes and says that there've almost been no improvement. They hit a wall or they can barely lift it. That is false. Now, at first, yeah, like I said earlier, at the gym, you're brand new at doing something, you're not going to do it very well. And later on, he kind of changes his tune a little bit and talks about the long bowman, and that's a perfect analogy. Again, we're not fighting in medieval era anymore. It's gone and over with, okay? So that's not what giant swordsmen are saying, although I'd say they're practical weapons. That's me. But I'm also the official giant sword channel. First giant swordsman. So let's take a look over here. Now, when you first get started, you are going to suck. Here's me, day one. Boom. I just dropped it. I was awful. It has changed quite a bit. Now I'm doing mobile training. Lifting, moving. Lifting, moving. Okay, that's with forward slashes. Now, this is what I call the Colossus form. To break it down for you guys real quick, the whole purpose of the Colossus form is to create simple, easy to use, functional, maneuverable giant sword attacks. Okay, nothing fancy, nothing like whatever, nothing that has to rely on momentum. It has to be pure power strikes from whatever position you might be in. Because again, you may not be in a position to like perfectly swing the sword, bring it back down. You might have to curve it down a little bit, diagonal slash. It might be behind you, like you see with the uppercut right here. It might be behind you this way. You have to swing it over your shoulders. And that's the whole purpose of it. But you can see right here, I'm improving. The last time I did it was a while ago. Well, it's not even a while ago. It was 2 weeks before this one. I only did 5 reps. And when you go to the very, very end right here. Okay, so this was January 20th, 2025. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, so. Okay, and then go right here in the mobile form. This is awful video. I had not good lighting that day. I improved by 12 reps. And honestly, all that movement takes a lot of energy, a lot of stability. And that's improvement right there. Okay, let's show. Here we are. Literal armor training. That's 100 pounds of pure armor. That stuff's not light. My helmet alone weighs about 20 pounds. Not light. And the thing is, it's like, you can see my little head inside there. Notice the flexibility on that helmet. It's like you got Shad over here like, oh, they can barely lift it. Like, no, Shad, that's not correct. We have been improving tremendously. It's funny because my armor almost makes the sword look small. So that's not a correct statement. All right, here's another member of the Giant Sword community, Hale. This is pretty much his first day, right? And he did it nonstop for about, I think, 60 days. So he starts. He can barely lift it. And that's, again, why I believe people are like, oh, it's not practical, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're just, it's gatekeeping, okay? It's gatekeeping. Pause it. Here he is now. Boom. Swing, motions, goes around. Now, he does movements I wouldn't do, but this is his style, this is his form. Also, hello, Hale. I don't know what you're wearing, homie. It's working for your atmosphere, though. You got the Game of Thrones bear cloak look going on. We also did this too, Shad. I don't know if you guys paid any attention to it. Let's see here. We actually did an obstacle course. Granted, it's not the most fluid thing, but it's way further than what we've been doing. And honestly, try doing an obstacle course with a sword, it is still a difficult thing to do. And boom. I did mine. Hale did his. So we are going places, man. We are way, way far away from what this was a long time ago. Huge difference. And again, well, not again. My problem was, people are like, well, you've been doing so long, what happened? Honestly, just a lot of bad things in life. And then all of 2024, I've been very, very open about it. I got injured 4 times. 1 time ankle, 2 times with the knees due to the hurt, and then broken ribs because of hurt. It was just aggressive sport. But I wanted to introduce that into the Colossus form and learn from that armored fighting, armored grappling, in order to make Colossus form better and more effective and show what it can do. Hence why I'm doing this with. There you go. Case in point. But we'll get back to this a little bit later. Okay. So hard is agree. Hard is agree. The barrier lifting thing. Tyrant, like I said, Tyrant is in the camp if they're not practical. Look, to be honest, most HEMA people can't even agree on what favorite medieval weapon of theirs is practical, or what's the most effective weapon? What's the best weapon? This here, is it the spear? Is it the Becte Corbin? Is it the halberd? Is it this Zweihanda? Is it the saber? Actually, you're all a bunch of putzes. It's the longbow. It's like, so whatever, man. I kind of get used to that. So I don't really expect it to change. And the fact is that they keep wanting to take weight off of it. The whole purpose of Giant Sword is to have weight and impact. You gotta have that weight. Otherwise, there's no point to it. Just use a regular sword. Okay? But the regular sword is not going to have that impact and power that a giant sword has. So it's just, it is what it is. To be honest, they started off their video showing the practicality of a giant sword.
Oh, wow.
So you guys are there, and that's aluminum. Shoot, imagine you gave me that aluminum thing. I'd make that sing. I'd make it sing. I'm not bashing you guys. I'm really not, but I am going to give some pushback on that because that's a hard disagree. Okay, it's a very, very, very big hard disagree.
Dragonslayer swords, they kind of reach.
Come on.
Like a barrier, a limit that once it doesn't matter how much stronger you get, the human body.
It's a physics problem.
Exactly. Can't get past it to swing it around more functionally. This might have better chances of being functional.
Damn it.
Practical.
Yeah, and they can.
At all.
What I've seen from the guys training with, steel Dragonslayer swords, they kind of reach like a barrier, a limit that once it doesn't matter how much stronger you get, the human body.
It's a physics problem.
Exactly.
That's not true. Again, I already showed you all of it. No, that's incorrect, Shad. We keep improving. And then if we run into a wall, we basically adapt and look at what's going on, what we do to improve. And a lot of that is made outside and in the gym. You have to train differently. You're going to have to hit different types of muscles. You have to have an understanding of how the human body works, mechanics. And again, it's like the longbow training. Okay, it takes time. You have to work for it. You're not just going to get handed to you. This was me trained to operate inside my armor because again, it's 100 freaking pounds. I had to do multiple rounds, kicks, punch, moves, pushing a sled to train. The reality is, Chad and Tyrants, it's like a lot of people don't really want to train. They just want to be able to pick something up and then run with it.
Can't get past it to swing it around more functionally. This might have better chances of being functional because it's lighter.
And so leverage and like cross guards are something that I really want to show because I think a lot of people don't get it. But I've gone through the basic stuff.
And this video is kind of the deep dive now as could this work as a combat sword?
Yeah.
And in terms of length, yes, this is actually the more reasonable upper end, the most upper end of great swords.
Something I did want to address very quickly was a lot of people thought putting pommel on this would be a good idea. And this is something that
I would assume it would be.
All right. So what does pommel do? It's counterweight to a sword, so it can actually make the tip or down on the blade feel a little bit lighter in the hand. Feel is the context there. This is already...
Yeah, so one of the issues is, because this is 6 kilos, the amount of weight that...
Okay, so actually putting the pommel on a giant sword, like even mine, it may not seem like a lot, but it is going to assist you. What it's also going to do is it's also going to give your hand just something extra to reach. And in the random case that your sword like just is down on the ground, tips in the ground, whatever, it also kind of gives you a really not overly effective, but somewhat effective, kind of like a little small mace or like an iron club to whack people and punch them with. Case in point, the skull anymore. Skull, this one just got chopped, but kind of show you, you can actually use that pommel too, kind of like a way to punch somebody if they get up close. Literally see just chunks of filth and everything. Oh man.
So I actually missed a couple.
Boom. And this has some power to it. So I would say have a good sized pommel, but have a good sized pommel that if you really want to reenact fighting, they can be used for striking, or more importantly, if it's not too big, can be used for gripping. You don't want this ridiculously huge pommel that's going to get in your way. It's just not going to work out.
Talk.
It's crazy.
All right. So
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't trained with giant swords, if you don't know that your weapon, your giant sword, it's just not going to function well. So what you really want to do is train for a long period of time. And I think Tyrant actually is training with this, but he just wants to keep removing weight off of it. I mean, you could really just go to the gym. I think that's a comment on this video too. Go to the gym, get stronger, and exercise, get stronger, and the blade will lighten up. But it's his giant sword, so come with me. Now, here they're talking a little bit about the crossguard lock. So my issue with this,
yep, that's good.
okay, so they get closer up where his hilt goes right here. See if I can get that. Damn, this fucking...
Did that stop you?
No, I stopped it.
All right, try and push through.
I'm strong, not because I have this is where the leverage works against you, because it's so heavy. When I'm down in my I don't have leverage. Just
Okay, so here's the one I was talking about where they're talking about no leverage, nothing. You still have leverage just like all other swords. Okay? If you're don't try to use a giant sword like a Hema sword. Or like a regular sword. It's not. It's a giant sword. It's huge sheer mass. So for some reason, and you're not going to, but if you're right here, you can thrust forward and hit with the pommel. You can kick. You can grapple. I don't agree with this at all. Grappling is a thing, okay? It's not practiced too much in Hema. It's actually very limited in Hema, but it's practiced a lot in Buhurt, and rightfully so, because Buhurt, in my opinion, is one of the most accurate examples of actual armored fighting. People disagree. They're like, well, it's not like sharpened blades and stuff. Yeah, it's not sharpened blades. You're not allowed to stab, and you're not allowed to thrust, but you're pretty much allowed to do everything else, including hit people with pole axes, pole arms, or doing like a little spear thing, you can whack, and swords. But the most important part is this shows really the effectiveness of grappling and really how commonly it was definitely used. Now, for example, here is a video of two people practicing Hema, and one, as you can imagine, boom. And that's one of the things, too, the biggest arguments is people like, well, if I get this close, what are you going to do? You're powerless. No, I'm not. You're going to come on, get close range to a guy that has all this power built up in his upper body, arms, whatever. And if he's a swordsman, definitely has practiced judo or some type of grappling, European grappling, some kind of martial arts, punching. Also trained with other swords, armored, most likely, and you're going to try to get in close range? Like, that's a stupid idea. Like, if all the people that have trolled me, the ones that say they keep their distance are the smartest ones. The ones that think they're going to just do all these cool ninja moves, that's dumb. That's something you don't want to do. And again, Buhurt, for example, look, I get rushed on this one. Boom. I punch. I push back. Same thing. Push, punch, push back. Create space. Hit again. Armored fighting. So I don't agree with that. Now, another one too, they said that Tyrant made a claim that this section of the blade is basically useless. You can't do anything. Also not true.
3, 2, 1.
The amount of weight you're still getting the full weight of the sword at that point. All of its balance on that spot right there. So you're getting all that weight. And so someone's trying to be like, oh, I'm just going to grab you, stop you from there, or stop your momentum. They're not. They're just going to get jacked up.
This is the weight of it.
Yeah.
It kind of reverses itself.
Let's try and do.
All right, where do you want me to go?
So we're going to come in low. Try and ready.
I've worked on getting 2 sparring partners, by the way, but
After the initial strike,
Life has,
I'm really trying to get you.
life has ways.
I know the answer. This is more proving a point, Shad. This little next bit. That's all this is.
Yeah, Tyrant, loving proving me wrong.
Yeah. So just do regular straight down chops into the wood.
You're saying you don't want me to break it, Tyrant?
No, I don't want you to break it.
Yeah, I would have liked the tight Suki to not have broken either, Tyrant.
Well, you know, maybe they should have made it different.
You purposely came in wanting to destroy it.
No, I did not.
Took glee in it. Oh, wow. Just that. Just that.
What I'll do is I'll...
Dude. You don't want me to... This thing... This wants to roll, man.
That's why I'm...
It does.
It's gonna...
So when you're brand new, you saw it on my video earlier, and your giant swords, it's going to roll a lot. It doesn't really matter what kind of pommel you have, because I guarantee you don't have the strength built up to hold it. So you're not wrong, Chad. And Tyrant's not wrong either. Tyrant has a little square grip going on. Should be more oval, but honestly, if you're not building up your strength, it's probably going to roll anyways, because you're just going to not have the capabilities. But as you train with it, let's even something as heavy as this, you're not going to roll. In fact, you're going to be able to train yourself and bring all of that mass and power into your target. Your target's going to freaking feel it. It's going to feel good. Now, let's see here. I have an awesome video for you guys too. And again, you don't always have to have perfect edge alignment with giant swords either. Okay, so what we did over a year ago, we did a test where we used, based on historically accurate measurements in a museum, we got all this armor right here. It's a 16 gauge mild steel. You have clap visor, you have little Visby pauldrons, there's some derivative chainmail, and we have a ballistic dummy. And I got my sword here, and this is definitely not one of my strongest points either. But we're gonna hit him. We ready? Time great is 3, 2, 1, go. And it completely knocks it over. Just knocks it straight over. Just the pure power of it. 2, 1, go. Yes. And see? Honestly, probably could have had even more power behind that sword had I had better little edge alignment. Also, if I just had been more shaped. Like, see, I couldn't even stop myself from turning all the way around. We did that test, specifically setting this guy up, this helmet, this target up way up high, because we wanted to show that you could maneuver giant swords against gravity. Because back then, people were like, you can't even use it against gravity. You can't even lift it up. Like, the amount of stuff that I've disproven, I wish I had like a laundry. I think I do have like screenshots and laundry list, but we've just proven so many falsehoods about giant swords. This is one of them. Where it's like, you can only use gravity to swing, and that's all you got. No, we went against gravity and knocked the crap out of this thing and just completely broke the inside. Okay, so I don't want to drag on too long about this because I don't want this video to be super long. One thing they talk about is armor. Their biggest complaints is Shad here has to take off his pauldrons, and Tyrant keeps his on, but they complain about. Now, I'm not here to bag on somebody, okay? I don't know what your guys' experience fighting with armor is, okay? I'm not here to do that. And I'm not saying, like, I'm the most proficient armored fighter of all time, but I have fought in armor quite a bit as a younger guy. In my 20s, I did a lot of SEA fighting. I had, like, nice armor from, I had armor from Pitbull Armory for a period of time. I had Arm Street Armory armor suit. That was very nice. And I had one from a guy named Robert Stokewood, but I fought in lots of armor. So moving around with it, I know how historical accurate armor feels like. It's pretty easy to move around in. What you guys are wearing, at least Tyrant, your shoulders, man, that's going to get in your way. It looks cool, but it's going to get in your way, dude. Let's go over here. and kind of just quickly, I mean, I already did, but let's just disprove that. Properly fitted armor that's meant to be fought in will not get in your way. Now, will it hinder you? Yes, armor will hinder you. Armor is not something that's just going to like give you all this wonderful flexibility. What it's meant to do is balance extreme protection while losing some endurance and some mobility. And you're going to lose mobility. Like, you're not going to get constant, perfect, beautiful mobility all the time, which is why, and you guys did a great job, you have brigadines on, and that's smart. Brigadines, basically, I know I have my Hound Skull helmet here, but brigadines are plates, for people that don't know, are plates, multiple steel plates, iron plates, whatever, hardened or not hardened, that move and are attached to the cloth that you see there, which gives maximum mobility. And that's what you need in giant sword training, and also probably training in general. It doesn't offer as much protection because it's giving you more mobility. A full breastplate, like an actual breastplate, even with like a little bit minor movements, offers way better impact protection than that does, but it still offers you protection, but allows you to move. If you can't move with giant sword training, forget it. You're going nowhere. Now, my helmet, like I said, this thing's like 20 pounds. That's why I have these plates in the back of my neck and in the front. They kind of act like a second gorget, but they also allow my head to move around more, which you need, again, when you're training. And if you look at my armor real quick, okay, we'll look from the back, okay? I've got the plates, segmented plates on my helmet. I got multiple segmented plates on my shoulders. They're not big, giant plates. They're a bunch of little ones. Same thing with the arms. The arms are also segmented. Let's take a closer look. Oops, that's like super blinding. Okay, my arms right here also have multiple segments. You can see the segments in my brigadine. It's fantastic. And right now, I'm working on getting gauntlets. Clamshell gauntlets don't work great because you do have to use your arms, your hands, and leverage quite a bit. So you got something clamshell, it's just going to put leverage on your gauntlet and screw it up. And I didn't want to ruin my Muir gauntlets.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Don't hit the castle this time, yeah?
I'll try. You know the thing I see in video games?
I do remember that when he did it. Anyways, let's move ahead. Okay, so now they're talking about momentum is the only way to fight with giant swords. No. If you're constantly using momentum, you're going to get tired out. It looks cool. It looks flashy. I do think momentum movements have their purpose. For instance, let's see if we can chat here. Just throw around.
When you're just there going,
okay, that can really help clear an area. Like, maybe or at least make people like, oh, shoot. And get them to back off a little bit. Give yourself some space. But that should definitely not be one of your main moves. You're looking to kill somebody. Now, you can kill somebody by hitting them something like that. Even too heavy, even an uncontrolled hit like that. So watch.
2, 1.
All I did was just drop it. That was just a drop. It was a controlled drop, so we wouldn't just go straight down, but it was just like right there. So your Luna one would probably still mess somebody up pretty bad. So I do agree with you on a little bit on that. It has its purpose, but I don't agree that it has to be momentum based. And that's why I developed my Colossus form to make sure that it's based upon powerful impacts. And those powerful impacts can be done from multiple angles. Okay. People like to do the forward slash, boom, right here. You can jump back and stab. See if I can pull up something here for you guys. Okay, so here's an example where I went there, people kept saying we get stuck in the mud, get stuck in the mud. No, it doesn't. It does not get stuck in the mud, man. You might take some of the mud with you, but it's not getting stuck in the mud. Okay, it's not a shovel, it's a sword. So pretty much you could do multiple different ways of attacking. If it gets stuck, you jump back. Use your body weight to pull it out, or use your body weight just to bring it back with you. But you can maneuver back and forth quite a bit.
You can get around, no worries, but edge alignment, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, same thing with edge alignment there is that you're spinning it around. And then like my purpose earlier was telling you guys this is that it's based on single impacts, okay? That you want to move and you want to train and move your body as well. That's what the Colossus form is all about, is single strikes. You could follow up and do a combo. You could do a combo with the Colossus form. Check this out. So you can do different types of combos with it. A little stab, a little thrust, block. That's what I call the dragon scale. Swing back up to the /, shot back down. So it's not impossible, and you don't have to do all these fancy flash movements. And what these movements are doing is they're making it so you're not wasting all that energy with fun flashes. Because again, you still, even if it's the weapon is moving, your hands still have to grip. So if you're having to hold on while you're swinging around, doing all your fancy stuff, your hands are burning and your forearms are going to give out way faster than anything else. This right here, yeah, you still got to use your hands a little bit, but you're also using a lot of full body movements and full body movements and maneuvers and torquing maneuvers to keep it going. So you're not like losing that grip power.
Too much here.
Edge alignment is rough, and I'm watching you swing around, and I would actually feel confident. Once that passes on the backswing, I would run in and just catch, and I could close it before it comes back.
Yeah.
Now, maybe. That's a maybe.
With Patron.
Remember, like I showed you earlier, you can jump back. And you can also stab, bring it up the block, work it out of the way, and strike. Again, not perfect. You're still a long way for it to improve. But the fundamentals are there. And it just takes training and time and understanding how to get that proper training. And I think that's really what's holding up giant swords the most, is we're still figuring it out, because honestly, this is still a baby. It's still an infant. It's nothing's perfect. So let's go ahead and wrap up. I don't want this to be super long. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I think Chad and Tyrant did an awesome, excellent job what they're doing. I don't have to agree with everything, and they don't have to agree with everything I say. They probably don't. But I think of all the people I've ever had that didn't really support giant swords, theirs was the most intelligent. I didn't agree with a couple things there, but passionate, but also willing to try things out. So I do think it's a great video. I think they did a good job with it. I know it's super long. And I wanted to talk about a lot of different things I thought were great and some things I didn't think weren't so great. But yeah, I think honestly, if Tyrant just tries out a sword that's not super light like the aluminum one he has here, and then tries some of these things he was saying he doesn't believe in, I think he'd have different results. And if he doesn't, guess what? I'll do it for him. Anyways, Outlaws, and everyone else who's new, love you all. Not really, I don't know you. But we'll see you next time.